Going through the JRPG tag on Steam, if you want your game to stand out, you need your characters to have big brains. I'm going to start out by saying this does not apply to everyone. Not everyone's making the game for commercial sale. And if you're using RPG Maker as a hobby to learn about games creation, then you can pretty much ignore this video. But if you're developing your game for commercial release at some point, there are a few things that need to be said. And if already heard, reiterated. Does your game stand out? I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Does it? Can you identify why it stands out? In 2021, there were 30 new games being released on Steam every single day. So this is an important question. If I scroll past your game, why should I give a fuck? RTP, default assets, do not stand out. They're not bad, but they don't stand out at all. This isn't just an RPG Maker thing. This happens in Unity, Unreal. But the idea of standing out is exactly that, not looking like what's already been done 50 times. You can use RTP creatively, you can parallax it, you can add lighting or shadows, you can mix RTP with custom assets, you can hue shift, add fog over the top of it. But a straight up level with no effects, no change to lighting and pure RTP does not stand out and does not sell your game. Now this is contentious with the RPG Maker community, with people saying things like, my game's about the story, not the graphics. Write a book. Let's just poke this double-edged sword here for a second. I love RPG Maker because it's so simple that anyone can use it. The problem with it is that it's so simple that anyone can use it. People will come in, spend 2 months developing a subpar game, and then try and release it on Steam for a quick buck, otherwise known as asset flipping. And because of the rampant asset flipping, and because of the rampant asset flipping with the RTP, to the general gaming community, it just looks like another asset flip. It looks low effort. Let me just show you Symphony of War really quickly. Look, you see that? You see those are default assets? But you also see the non-default assets and the intricacies of their game systems. You can still use RTP and make a great game that will sell, but if you use it like this, no. You've got options. You can create custom art assets yourself. You can learn how to sprite. You can purchase asset packs from Vigistella, from Kaz, from myself when I release some. You can hire an artist to make custom graphics for your game. You can edit the RTP and put effects over them. It's not impossible to move away from the RTP, and it's not hard either. You could even just Google free RPG Maker tile sets. If you agree with me, then you can hit the like button, but if you don't agree with me, then you can hit the dislike button and let me know in the comments why I'm wrong. But if you want to sell your game and make it stand out, do something with the graphics. Now that half of the people have clicked off this video, let's move on. If you're advertising your game, you're going to need to be doing a lot more than having chibi characters walking around different levels with royalty-free epic music playing over the top of it. You need to hook your potential players. You need to give them a reason to play outside of...
Walk through the snow, walk through the desert, a king betrayed by his brother. You must save the world.
Tell the potential player why your game is different, or give them a hook. Hooks are important because it's what gets your potential players to buy your game. Let's have a look at Symphony of War again, from the top.
Legends tell of a golden time in years past of great clashes, heroes, and triumphs.
Do you see how they very quickly set up the premise of an explorable world with their maps and then heavily focus on their systems? That's their hook. The thing that will make people buy their game. The hook. They go about how you can play a Fire Emblem style game with individual squads in an overarching battle. You can arrange your squads and formations. Level up your characters. That's why people are buying this game, and it was made in RPG Maker VX Ace. But if you look at the sales figures, does this look like only people in the RPG Maker community are buying this? No, it's getting hundreds of sales per day, because it's broken into more of a mainstream market, because with their trailer and the focus on their game systems, they've hooked their audience into buying their game. On the note of systems, do something with the systems. Even if you're going to be using the stock combat system, your game's not going to stand out unless you do something interesting with that. If you're just going to have the standard Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3, and attack, double attack, triple attack, It's just not gonna appeal to potential players. Even with the default system, there's a lot you can do, with parameters and states and with creative ingenuity, to make your combat something that's not a boring game of rock, paper, scissors. For systems, there are so many free plugins out there as well as paid plugins that you can implement into your game to improve the systems and make it stand out a bit more. Have a bestiary for every enemy you encounter. Have a skill point system, a day and night system, a romance system. Obviously don't get bogged down by feature creep, where you end up having a game with like over 1,000 different plugins, but identify a couple of interesting features that you'd like to implement and implement them. As I said, there are free plugins out there, and if you've got a bit of money, Visistella have a plethora of paid plugins. If anyone from Visistella watches my videos, sponsor? Look, I've been researching and writing this script for about 5 hours now, and I've come to the realization that there are so many things you could do to make your game stand out, and maybe I can include them in another video in the future. But to finish this video, I just want to talk about marketing. You're not going to drop your game on Steam and have people flocking to buy it. Even if your game is a fucking masterpiece, if you don't market it well, no one's going to play it. There's no such thing as build it and they will come. You need to get the word out there about your game. You can post to the RPG Maker forums, the Facebook groups, the Discord groups, even have people like Drifty play your game to get some eyes on it. But this shouldn't be an afterthought. You need to be building hype about your game well before its release. If you're looking to release your game in December, you need to start talking about it now. Ow. Post screenshots, devlogs, trailer videos, set up a Discord, start collecting an email list. You want to use your time pre-launch to build a following for your game so that when it's released, you have a bunch of people flocking to buy it. Once your game's released, you could consider running ads for it. If your game costs $20, then you could spend about $100-200 on ads, and to make back your investment, you'd only need to sell like 5 or 10 copies of your game. If you know of any other things that can help someone's game stand out, then mention it below in the comments. Catch.